Hello, gorgeous heartbeat, and welcome to Heartbeats Harbor. I'm your host, Brianna Hosack, and I'm here to shine the light on the shadow path we walk as heartbeat women. Women rising into leadership roles as lightworkers, changemakers, worldshakers, or as I call us, heartbeats, do not have an easy path to walk. It often feels lonely, painful, and unique, but I'm here to help you see how very not alone you are, and how beautiful the shadows surrounding you actually are when you love and integrate them on your healing journey. I create spaces and opportunities for women to step into deeper self-awareness, self-acceptance, and personal healing, community and sacred circles, as well as leadership of themselves, their families, their communities, and beyond. My business and my life is and always will be about massive change in the ways things are done around the world. I believe it's a big part of my purpose on this planet to be a voice for those who don't have one, a safe harbor for those who need one, and a beacon of light to inspire a better way. None of this is easy. I've learned that big impact requires bold action and delusional levels of confidence, as well as a ton of shadow work. If you love what you hear on this podcast and you want to be part of the growing, supportive online village of Heartbeats Harbor, make sure you join my Facebook group, which is linked below in the show notes. Now, I can't wait to get started, so let's turn on the lights.
Hey, heartbeats. It has been forever. I ended up closing off season 1 of this podcast way sooner than I expected. I had planned a few more episodes to finish off that season, but life went crazy and we allow it, right? We just sometimes have to go with the flow. So that is what I did. I ended it off. Now, I have thought about and planned restarting this podcast probably 4 separate times since then. And now it is, so the last episode of season 1 was on November 22nd, 2023. And this episode that I am recording right now, I'm recording on July 6th. I don't know when I will release it specifically, but I'm recording this July 6th, 2024. So 7 months have gone by. And I was listening to a different podcast today, and one thought triggered another, right? So here's the thing. I have been trying to figure out the direction that I want to go with the podcast. I have been toying with different ideas for focuses for it because I am so multi-passionate, right? I have so many things that I love to talk about. I have so many different offers in so many different areas of things that could help people, right? And I am I thought about doing like decluttering focus, simplifying focus for one season and then doing something else for another season. And I didn't love that. And so I sat with it for a while. And I actually at one point plotted out a whole season's worth of decluttering episodes. Like I have so many ideas for what I could record. I could record endlessly. And one thing that also really held me back, other than not knowing exactly what I was going to focus on, was the time. So, the time commitment for the way that I launched my podcast, which was absolutely beautiful. And I followed the lovely Kim Parkinson's steps in her challenge to have amazing sound, to have everything exactly how I needed it to be so that it would launch well and take off and all of those things. And it did great. And it was beautiful. And I got complimented on the sound. It was great, right? But it was holding me back from continuing. It was holding me back from starting a new season because I was getting too in my head about being perfect with it, right? I put a lot of time and effort into editing each episode in the previous season. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it was holding me back now because at the phase of life that I'm in with the things that have been going on. And if you want to know what's been going on, go listen to my Suspending Disbelief podcast. If you haven't been listening to that, that is a whole thing. So um, I'll talk more about that a little bit later probably, but I'll link it in the show notes so that you can go and check out that podcast. Now, I have to say that podcast is one of the number one factors in me feeling like it's okay for me to record this podcast the way that I am now going to record it. So, first of all, I am hiding in a room because my dog is about to go nuts. He was starting to do the chase his tail thing. So, anyways, I started this suspending disbelief podcast. It is a raw podcast. I do zero editing on it unless there's like something really terrible, right? There was one episode where I was too much in my flow and I spoke about other people's business in a way like not I shouldn't share it, and so I cut that out, or um a few times where I've had connection issues and I've had to like stop and start and stop and start, and then I have to kind of paste it all together. But beyond that, I'm not editing. I'm not editing the sound. I'm not editing mistakes that I make in my words. I am not scripting them. I'm not even planning out the episodes. They are like a daily reflection. And literally, I've been doing them daily, and that has not felt heavy or overwhelming or too much for me. So I was thinking about it and I'm like, why is it so stressful for me to start back up my Heartbeats Harbor podcast? And I realized it's because I was still expecting myself to create this perfect sound, to do all the editing work and to bring it to the same level as episode or season 1. And I am not in a phase of my life right now where I can do that. And so what it was doing was completely holding me back from starting it at all. And it's been really bothering me because I was so passionate about my podcast and I was so excited about it and I did not want to stop. And I have now decided like it's not happening. I'm not doing this anymore. It is not okay for me to not pick this back up because it's bothering me that much, right? So while I am a huge fan and proponent of saying like give yourself all the grace and you've had all these things going on and this and that and the other, and that's true. I've had some real life shit going down, okay? Like it has been real over here. But I have had the energetic space for it if I wasn't expecting myself to do all of the sound editing and perfect trimming and all of these things. So, lesson learned, right, is that in our lives and in our businesses, if there's something that we feel called to do and we're feeling a pull towards it, but we're holding ourselves back because of perfectionism, it will never happen. And even when I did all of that editing, it wasn't even because I thought, people won't listen if it's not perfect, but it was just the standard that I had set myself with the first season. And so I was trying to maintain that standard, which was in a sense ridiculous because, first of all, my Suspending Disbelief podcast has taken off and I do zero sound editing on that one. And I am officially deciding as of this minute, I literally had the breakthrough come through and put on the record button. So I did not plan this episode. I did not think it through or have, all of these things. I just decided, what the hell am I doing? Why am I waiting? Let's move forward. So here's the plan. The plan for this next season of the Heartbeats Harbor podcast is that there is no fucking plan. So I will be real and raw, just on a broader range of subjects. So I do real and raw for my Suspending Disbelief podcast. And you know what? People love it and I love it and it feels amazing. So I'm going to keep doing it. This podcast will have a little bit of a different focus. So I'm not picking one topic. I cover a lot of things. I have clients in all of the different areas that I cover. So I'm going to talk about what comes up and feels relevant at the time. And my human design is to respond. So when I have something come up and I have something to respond to, I will record an episode. And then as I record them, I will plop the intro and the outro in so that those are still there, and I will push them out. I don't know. I don't know what schedule I will put them on. I guess it depends how often I'm inspired. Maybe once a week again, maybe not that often, maybe more often. And I'm okay with whatever that looks like. So on this podcast from now on, I will be talking all things spirituality, motherhood, personal development, leadership, decluttering, all of it. And I'm not restricting myself anymore. And I know that people in my world love to hear the things that I have to say about this stuff. So I'm just going to share it. And we'll see what next season will look like. My youngest starts part-time school in the fall, in September, and then my schedule will be completely different again. But right now, it is summer vacation, and my kids are going to be around a whole hell of a lot more, and I have zero capacity for editing podcasts. So I am just going to play it by ear, but I'm going to start recording them now because there is no point in waiting. And I really want anyone who is listening to this episode to take that lesson and run with it. If there's something that has been calling to you, that's on your heart or on your mind that you want to be doing, that you feel passionate about, do it messy. And I know that I'm not the first person to say this. And I know, I've heard this before and I've had this realization in other situations before. But these are the types of things that we need to hear again and again and again to really have them stick. So I'm sharing it again. Do it messy. Do it messy, do it messy, do it messy. And it is always more powerful than when you do it perfect. And it comes at the right times. And when we let the universe guide us and allow the flow to just happen, it is always perfect. And we could not do better if we try to construct it with perfectionism. So trusting in the universe, trusting in divine timing, trusting in my own wisdom and intuition, and we are going to move forward. So welcome back. And I will talk to you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe to be notified of new episodes. If you really love it here and want to help spread the light, please take a moment to rate the show and leave a review. They help so much. If you love listening and want to be part of the interactive and incredible online community we're growing, make sure you click the link in the description box and join the Facebook group. I promise you it is not like other groups you've been in. Hope to meet you there soon. And I'll be talking to you next week, sending you all my love from my heartbeat to yours.